And India has become a diplomacy epicenter right now. The Shanghai Cooperation Defence Ministers meeting will be taking place in just a short while from now. Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will be chairing the meet under the theme Secure SCO. Now, Defence Ministers of China, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Russia, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan will be attending the meeting in person in New Delhi today, while Pakistan will be participating in the meeting virtually. India has also invited Belarus and Iran as observer states in the SCO Defence Ministers meeting. The ministers will discuss matters related to regional peace and security, counter-terrorism efforts within the SCO and effective multilateralism. On the sidelines of the SCO summit, the Indian Defence Minister also held bilaterals with his Chinese counterpart yesterday. The two ministers had discussions of the situation on the India-China border. The Indian Defence Minister also conveyed that any development of relations between India and China is premised on prevalence of peace at the borders. He reiterated that violation of existing agreements has eroded the entire basis of relations between the two countries. The Indian Defence Minister also held bilaterals with his Kazakhstan, Tajikistan and Iranian counterparts, where he emphasized on defence cooperation. It is also expected that the Indian Defence Minister will be holding a separate bilateral meet with his Russian counterpart today. Russian Defence Minister Sergei Shoigu is in New Delhi, and this is the first time that he is visiting India since the war in Ukraine broke out. Meanwhile, Russian Foreign Minister has confirmed that he will be taking part in the meeting of the Council of Foreign Ministers of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which will be taking place next month. We're now being joined by Principal Diplomatic Correspondent Siddharth Sibal from New Delhi. Hi Siddharth, what's the latest? The SCO summit is scheduled to take place in just a short while from now. What will be on the agenda today?
Well, in about 15 to 20 minutes, we will see the official start of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization's Defence Ministers meeting. The initial statements will be read by the Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, who is the host of the meeting. India is the chair of the grouping, got the presidency last year and is hosting number of ministerials, including the Defence Ministers meet, which is happening today. Now, on the agenda is issues like counter-terrorism, extremism, radicalization. But the fact that the Russian and the Chinese defense ministers are present in person is a significant development. The only country which is not present in person, which is participating as well, is Pakistan. But all eyes will be on the key outcomes of the meeting, and also if there will be a family photo. We have seen that when it comes to this meeting, it has provided opportunity for a number of bilaterals, including the India-China bilateral, which took place yesterday. And later today, we will see the India-Russia Defence Ministers bilateral around 3 p.m. Indian Standard Time.
Right, Siddharth, I was just coming to that. Tell us about the bilaterals. Now, this is the first time that the Russian Defence Minister is in India since the war in Ukraine broke out. How is the West viewing Russian Defence Minister visit to India at this point?
Well, this is the first ever visit by Russian Defence Minister to India since the conflict began last year. So all eyes will be on what will be the key outcomes also on the bilateral meeting. But essentially, we know that when it comes to Western view about Russia, we all know what West holds, especially after the conflict started. But India has a long-term relationship with Russia, especially in defense partnership. That is something that will be part of the conversation. But also when it comes to the defense purchases from Russia, because there is worry over the payment, because when it comes to Russia, there are American sanctions and usage of dollar is not very easy. So there is this new mechanism that is being worked out. That, of course, will be part of the conversation later today when both the defense ministers meet. And essentially, the readout will give us more details as to what transpired between the meetings between the two ministers.
Right. Thank you, Siddharth, for getting us up to speed on this. We'll, of course, be tracking this very closely on WION today. Thanks very much. And the SCO Defence Ministers Meet will be taking place in India's national capital, New Delhi, in just a short while from now. Yesterday, we saw how the Indian Defence Minister held bilaterals with his Tajikistan, Kazakhstan and his Chinese counterpart. Today, he will be holding, it is expected that the Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will be holding bilaterals with his Russian counterpart. It is also pertinent to note here that the Russian Defence Minister's visit to India is his first visit since the war in Ukraine broke out.